So, have you ever really thought about what you leave behind when you walk out of a room? I'm not talking about your keys or your phone, but the tiny, invisible clues about who you really are. Today, we're diving into a really powerful reflection from Shuifeng, the founder of Life Genuine, and he argues that the smallest traces we leave behind, day in and day out, actually reveal the deepest parts of our character.
So, where does this all start? Well, it begins with a very real, very specific scene. Xu Fang was cleaning a guest house, and what he stumbled upon wasn't just a bit of a mess. It was the very thing that sparked this whole deep dive into human nature.
I mean, just try to picture this for a second. It's not just messy, right? It's a specific kind of chaos. There were wood shavings all over, dirty dishes left out, but then you get these details. A pillow that's just filthy. And a perfectly clean white tablecloth. Not just dirty, but balled up and stuffed behind a bed. It feels like something more than just being untidy. It feels like a total disregard for the space and for the people who take care of it.
And here's the kicker. After running these guest houses for 7 years, this was the scene that stuck with him the most. For Sui Feng, this wasn't just about a messy room. He saw it as a direct window into the guests' life quality. You know, their inner character, their level of respect for the world around them. So this leads to this really fascinating idea, almost like a Sherlock Holmes deduction. But, instead of solving a crime, the mystery is figuring out a person's true character based on the clues they leave behind without even thinking about it. The central idea here is what he calls traces. The Chinese term is ji, which literally translates to spider threads and horse tracks. I mean, how cool is that? Think about it. Spider threads and horse tracks are so subtle, almost invisible, but they're undeniable proof that something passed through. And in this context, they're not clues to a crime, they're clues to our soul. They reveal our upbringing, our inner state, who we really are. And the logic behind it is actually super simple. It's this 3-step process that's happening all the time, whether we notice it or not. First, you do something, anything. Second, that action leaves a trace. And third, that trace tells a story about your inner world. Every little thing we do is a sentence in this story we're writing about ourselves. Okay, so this is where Zhu Feng turns the lens right back on us. He makes us ask ourselves these really powerful, almost poetic questions. What kind of path are we leaving behind as we walk through life? And the first one is such a great metaphor. As you go about your day, as you move through the world, are you leaving behind flowers for other people? Or are you leaving thorns that just make their journey a little bit harder? And what about the feeling you leave in your wake? When people think about you, is it with a sense of positivity and praise? Or do they kind of feel cursed by their interactions with you? Think about your own presence. Do people actually look forward to seeing you? When you show up, is there a feeling of eagerness, or do people feel a sense of rejection, a need to get away? It's a pretty intense question about our social energy.
And what about the whole vibe you create? Every single person carries an energy with them. Is yours light? Does it lift people up and bring some clarity? Or is it darkness, something that brings confusion and negativity into a space?
This one is about our long-term impact. The memories we create in other people's minds, that might be our most permanent legacy. So, are you creating fond memories that people will cherish? Or are they closer to nightmares people are trying to forget?
And finally, he takes it to the ultimate conclusion. When you add up all these traces, all these impacts you have on others, does it add up to creating a little bit of heaven on earth for them? Or are you creating a living hell?
No, this isn't just about being nice to other people. Xu Feng argues that the grand total of what we leave behind, it has a direct consequence for our own spiritual journey. It's a kind of judgment that we create for ourselves every single day.
And here he says it, just plain and simple. This is his core message, his warning. Our destiny isn't shaped by one big moment, but by the consistent pattern of beauty or ugliness we leave behind step by step. One path leads you toward heaven, the other, well, it leads you toward hell. So he then brings up this idea you hear in some religions of a final judgment, but he kind of flips it on its head. He asks, okay, but how would that actually work? What's the evidence that gets presented? Is it just a big list of your major sins and good deeds? And his answer is really profound. The judgment isn't based on some file that a higher power keeps on you. The evidence is the sum of every single trace we've ever left. Every messy room, every kind word, every flower, every thorn. We are literally judged by the path we create. And so it all comes down to this. this huge philosophical idea brought right down to this very moment. It's not about analyzing your entire life. It's just about today. Looking back on just the last 24 hours, what traces did you leave on your path, and what story do they tell?